in terms of healthcare. Number one, people who pay for what they want, and it'll be expensive, and they get it. Category number two, people who wait in line. And it's going to be a long, long line. It'll be like a bread line in communist Soviet Union. And that's it.
The one thing that I really hate about Canada, even though it's trumped for its, free healthcare and stuff, like when it comes to saving your life, I think that's great. Free healthcare is always great. But when it comes to actually treating anything that's not killing you right now,
yes. Oh, yeah.
It is pretty bad. Like I've had chronic back pain for a long, long time, and the system doesn't offer me a solution. It took me like a year and a half to get an MRI, and I actually had to go and lie through my teeth as far as what the symptoms were, so they take me seriously. Like I actually had to go to a chiropractor that I got assigned to, and they were like, putting needles into me and shocking me with electric shocks, and I had to make my foot jingle and basically tell them that.
Now, really quick, did you have the option of paying for your own MRI?
No. And that's the most frustrating part. I don't get it. They won't let me. I was like, I can pay. Like, let me pay to go somewhere. No, but they won't let you. And so anyway, I started looking into. So I finally got the MRI, did the MRI, took the MRI to a surgeon, and the surgeon basically told me, look, you have this spinal thing happening, you got this thing happening, but you know what? You should just live with it. We're not going to operate on you. We're not going to suggest solutions.
Kill me.
Just learn to live with it. That was literally what he said to me, like in these exact words. Yeah, try to do some physical therapy. Yeah, doc, I've been doing physical therapy for 3 years. It's not really helping. Yeah, maybe do some stretches, some yoga, and try not to play your favorite sports that you really like. And do you sit for long periods of time for your work? It's like, it's like, well, try not to sit. Try to take walks every 10 minutes. Oh, man. So I started looking into stem cells. And from all the research I've been kind of reading about and all the studies and it's just everyone's loving it. Now, the problem with stem cells is that you can't really do them in Canada. And from what I gather, you can't do most stem cell procedures in the United States except for a couple specific ones. So
guess what?
Most stem cell...
Panama.
Yeah, not just Panama. So you start researching this stuff and you got Panama, Colombia,
Malaysia.
All kinds of countries that have now this medical tourism set up where, you just go there, they pick you up, there's big clinics and you got state-of-the-art everything. They do the MRIs and the injections and everything. And I'm looking at that as like, how did we end up in a position where the most advanced and modern civilized Western countries with highest quality of life won't treat conditions, and then we have to pay multiple five-figure amounts of money to fly out to a shithole country, basically, on paper, that has all the best facilities, that is able to treat us and make us healthy again. That's the ridiculous.
One of my mentors is Dan Kennedy. And years ago in the 90s, he gave a speech. It was a business speech. He's a business marketing guy. And he actually said,
dude, we love Dan Kennedy on this show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Dan Kennedy fanboy.
Yeah, he's one of the OGs. Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
And he's also a genius. He doesn't look or act like a genius. That's why he's kind of under the radar with that stuff. But he said it. Matter of fact, I have the recording when he said it. He said, this is the 90s. He said, here's how this is going to work. In our lifetimes, there will be two categories of people. And there are only two, and you got to pick which one you're in terms of healthcare. Number one, people who pay for what they want, and it'll be expensive, and they get it. That's category number one. That's a smaller percentage. Category number two, people who wait in line. And it's going to be a long, long line. It'll be like a bread line in communist Soviet Union. And that's it. He goes, so there'll be a scenario where you're going to have to make six-figure income just to get quality healthcare in the Western world. I'm in Dubai, and so a lot of the healthcare there is literally world-class, best in the world, and it's not that expensive. Like when I go to the dentist, I have this on my Instagram. It looks like a castle. You're like this foyer with these fountains, and it's like 7 receptionists, and it costs the same price as in the United States. It's the same price. And the level of service, is the computers they use on your teeth, the advice you get, it is so much better. So, right, that's just another symptom of the collapsing Western world in which we all live. Correct.
Yeah, and considering that you've got what now, every day you've got 10,000 people turning 65 in the United States, right? Can you imagine what sort of crisis we're heading into?
It's going to be a mess. If this is going to get worse and worse. That's why I left in 2021. So I started thinking about this in 2003. And then in 2012, I made the decision to leave. I said, I'll wait till whatever year, 2025, when my kids are older, because my last kid would leave the house in 2018. I had this all mapped out on a spreadsheet. So the plan for many years was I will leave the United States in 2025. Then 2020 came. I saw the pandemic. Okay, problem number one. Then I saw in the United States, we had the Floyd riots, the summer of 2020, where people were burning down people's apartment buildings and things like that. And not only did I see the riots, because I've seen that happen in the United States before, but it was the entire country. And then both sides of the political spectrum in the United States, you have the left and the right. Both sides were talking crazy talk. So the left was saying, well, sometimes you have to burn down people's houses and smash people's cars who had nothing to do with it, who actually agree with you, because no one else listens to anything else. And I'm like, what? Then you have people on the right where you have these videos of these cops like knocking down 70-year-old men and cracking their skulls open on the sidewalk. You have police officers driving into protesters. You have police officers shooting rubber bullets at reporters who are doing nothing, just standing and talking on camera, doing it on purpose. And the people on the right would say, well, yeah, you got to do that because law and order. You have to shoot rubber bullets at reporters and drive over protesters and, knock people. And I'm saying, what? So I said, the whole country's gone insane. We have these crazy lockdowns. We have increasing violence. And then there's no political answer anymore. That's when I told my wife, this is summer of 2020. I'm not waiting to 2025. It's going to be so bad here. We're out of here next year. And so February 2021 is when we moved. Because it got worse and worse. And it's going to keep getting Canada too. You guys have a lot of problems in Canada. And they're going to, and
we do.
It's not a fixable problem anymore. I'm not going to get political, but these are not, it is mathematically impossible to fix these problems. 20, 30, 40 years ago, you could vote for certain people and make certain reforms and fix things. You're way past that. In the United States, I call it the collapsing trifecta. United States, Canada, and Europe, particularly Western Europe, these are not fixable countries anymore. Unfortunately, I wish they were.
No, you really have a point. It's a bit like the advice I heard from Dan Kennedy, incidentally, about copywriting. Sometimes, most times it's easier to write a new piece than to try and fix an old one that doesn't work. So,
right. And you could have fixed the United States, Canada back in the 90s, but people chose not to. And now we're way past that window. There's no one you can vote for. There's no protest you can make. There's no political party you can vote for. This is just how it's going to be. So either you stay in these countries and get screwed with taxes and cost of living and just watch your country get worse every year. And if that's your decision, that's fine. I'm an individualist. Or you leave, or the bare minimum set up an international backup plan. So when your country gets so bad you can't stand it, you say, no problem, boom, and within a week you're there. And then you're covered. You have residency, you got an apartment, you got a bank account there, you're good to go. At a minimum, you do that, which is not that hard.
Yeah, that's a good point. Look, we're coming on time. I know you have you produce a lot of stuff. You're really prolific. Can you tell us a little bit more about where we can go and find out more about you, how we can, get some more of that location independent income and independence in general advice. I know you also have a show for men, which I really enjoy. So just feel free to use this as an opportunity to absolutely shamelessly plug your stuff.
Sure. So the easiest place to go is CalebJones.com, CALEB. I know it's an odd name for some people. CalebJones.com, and there you can get Location Independence Toolkit, where I cover 5 flags in business from a beginner's perspective. It's all free. And I have videos there. And what we do there is we help you do 2 things. We help you set up a business. We don't do affiliate marketing because that's what Igor's good at. But we do things like if you want to be a coach, consultant, if you want to market some sort of service, we help you set up your own location independent business where you're making money within 90 days. And that's kind of phase 1 of what we help you with. And then phase 2 is we help you look at international options. Do you want to move? Do you just want to get residency? Do you want to check it out? Do you want a backup plan? We help you do all those things. Those two pieces. That's called Sovereign CEO. That's at CalebJones.com. Then, yes, if you're a guy, I live an interesting lifestyle. It's called Alpha Male 2.0. It's from my book, The Unchained Man. It's one of those best-selling books. And that's where we teach men how to live a lifestyle of maximum freedom. So, for example, this is just my example. I am married, but it's a non-monogamous marriage. So I see other women every week. And it's totally, my wife is totally cool with it, totally fine with it, just as an example. Plus, we talk about testosterone, anti-aging. I'm 50. I don't think I look 50. So things like that.
Yeah, this is the crazy part. Like those of you who are watching this and not listening to Spotify or something, like I was shocked when I discovered that. It's like, dude, you're old, but you look so young.
I'm old. I'm an old man. Yeah. So, as part of that, anti-aging is a big part of the lifestyle models we teach over at Alpha Male 2.0. So, if you're interested in doing that, that's at alphamale20.com. And then we have a lot of resources. That's just for men. We have a few women customers who are curious. But Sovereign CEO is for men or women. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a guy. It doesn't matter if you're a 9-to-5er. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. And frankly, all my content, you're right, I have a lot of content. All my content is under the umbrella of maximum long-term freedom. So you need a freedom-based lifestyle, and you also need freedom-based finances, which means your income, internationalizing, and then your personal life, your health, all that stuff. So we cover all the basics. So that's
all right. So let me sum it up real quick. So you can check out CalebJones.com, which I'm assuming will link out to all your different resources. But on CalebJones.com, you've got the Sovereign Toolkit,
right?
Where that kind of gives you the basics of what it means to be independent, both in terms of income and in terms of asset protection. You can also check out Caleb's podcast. There's 2 podcasts: the Sovereign CEO, that's for the asset protection or different locations where you want to head out to.
Right.
And internationalizing, that's the word. And the other podcast you can check out is the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. You can obviously get it on all your favorite platforms, or you can just go to alphamale2.0.com. And that's the podcast of how I actually found Caleb, because he has this great episode where he just breaks down the old Conan the Barbarian movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I really love that. So basically, if you're tired of the world around you kind of judging you for being a man, right? So obviously I'm speaking to men right now. If this is really alpha, like this reeks with alpha energy, like crazy. So I really like that. But I say that because I've seen alpha male podcasts before, and they don't really hit me the same way. Not every alpha male podcast makes sense. But yours does. I don't know why. It just does. It just makes so much sense to me.
A lot of
things
guy
you choose
content,
to discuss too.
Yeah, most guy content today borders on angry and emotional. And
yeah,
I teach happiness, being a happy guy. We like women. We enjoy women. We protect ourselves against the problems. Like, I have a prenuptial agreement in my marriage and things like that. I take the basic precautions that those guys would take. But I focus on being happy because that's the point of life. The reason you're here is to experience long-term consistent happiness as much as you can. And if you're screaming and ranting about feminists all day or red pill stuff, and some of those guys are my friends, I love these guys, it's harder to be happy. So I try to focus on happiness and using objective reality to help you achieve that happiness.
Yeah, that makes sense. And by the way, your Alpha Male, again, I'm more excited about the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast because I'm still younger.
Yeah, what's a bigger podcast?
I'm still trying to figure out that part of my life. But a lot of your advice I use in my marriage. Like I'm long-term married. I've been married as long as I've been making location independent income, actually. But a lot of what you like, because you have an open marriage, like non-monogamous marriage, because you went through a divorce, because you've lived a longer life, your perspective on it makes a lot of sense. Like there's one episode, I think, where you were breaking down that there's always going to be something that annoys you in your wife and vice versa.
Yes, 10%.
And you just have to find someone who, whatever's annoying you, you can live with that. You can't find someone who's not going to be annoying in some way.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this Dan Kennedy like nuggets of wisdom for marriage, and because Dan Kennedy is probably not the best marriage
Correct.
advice giver, right? He's
Yes.
been divorced, remarried to the same wife,
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's true.
So yeah, anyway, guys, check out Caleb Jones. Google him, get on YouTube. He's very active on YouTube. He's very active on the podcasts. He also has the book, The Unchained Man, which I did not read, but you should check it out. Why not? So go check it out. Yeah, Caleb, thank you for taking the time out of your trip to sit down with me and record this podcast. I've had tremendous pleasure hosting you.
No problem. You're a great guy. Love your stuff. Fantastic. Happy to be here.